Hello everyone, I chose KBC Group for my listed company. KBC was founded in 1998 and has been on the stock exchange for quite a few years. I chose this company because I am personally a customer of this bank and have also invested in it for several years. So I thought it will be interesting to delve a little deeper into their financial figures. First, I will discuss the shares of KBC Group. The statistic I can give you is the price at the moment. It is now 65.62 euros, which means an increase of 0.64%. But to discuss shares correctly, it is the best to compare figures over a longer period. First of all, I will show you a graph for a period of 6 months. Here you can see that the curve is in red, which indicates declines. In the past 6 months, the price has fallen by 13.65%. Especially in the last period from February. The cause of this is the war between Russia and Ukraine. The share has fallen to a low of 51.92 euros. As you can see on the graph for the last year, at no point was the price as low as on 7 March 2022. So if we go a long way back in time, we see many ups and downs as you can see on the graph. Next, I take a look at their financial performance. On this graph, you can see their revenues and net incomes from 2017 to 2021. The first thing we see here is that the first 3 years are almost equal, with a revenue of about 7.5 billion. But as you can also see, there is a drop in 2020. Here, the yield is 6.12 billion euros, which is a drop of 17.35% compared with 2019. The cause of this drop will be the COVID pandemic, but luckily KBC has recovered in 2021 with an increase of 28.83%. To go a little further in the financial analysis, we are going to look at some ratios. This will make it easier for us to conclude their financial situation. First, we will discuss a profitability ratio, namely the return on equity. This ratio shows us how much profit is made on the equity. On the graph, you can see that the ROE is the highest in 2018, then a small decline, and in 2020 a drop to 7.15%. This percentage should be interpreted as follows. An ROE of 13% means that the company realizes a net profit of 13 euros for every 100 euros of equity. Next, I have a solvency ratio, namely the degree of financial independence. This reflects the ratio of the equity to total assets. The higher the ratio, the better the company is for investors. On the graph, you can see that the percentage over the 3 years are very good. In 2019, the percentage is the highest, which means that 63% of total assets are equity. The next ratio is the quick ratio, also called liquidity in the strict sense. As you can see from the graph, it is very low in 2018, which is not good. And in 2019, I have a serious increase to 7.22. The quick ratio must be greater than 1, as in the years 2019 and 2020, which is very good because this means that the company is liquid. As we all know, stocks have suffered greatly in recent times. First, there was the COVID pandemic and now the war between Russia and Ukraine. Of course, this does not make it easy for investors. If I look at the returns and ratios, I can conclude that KBC Group is a good company to invest in. They score relatively well on all the ratios and have very high returns every year. If I were in your place, I would invest in KBC. Thank you for listening.